happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes
chainsaw decapitation and the horrific murder of Gabriel Kuhn.
On September 3rd, 2018, a bizarre and tragic incident unfolded in the Tomsk region of Russia. A 15-year-old boy named Pavel Matveev went into his yard, started a chainsaw, then intentionally decapitated himself. According to the minimal information provided from Russian news sources, including local sources, he was addicted to a computer game that his single mother, quote-unquote, had bought for him. While a state-owned news network said, quote, a teenager from Tomsk region committed suicide after he lost a computer game, a female source said Pavel spent hours at his computer and that his nerves finally gave way from the game. A common, ridiculous speculation pushed after someone's death who happened to play video games. Russian authorities gave no further details on the case except to confirm a criminal case had been opened into incitement of suicide. The wording used in these statements are odd. The descriptions about the women in the statement "his nerves gave way after the game," making this case lead with the headline that Pavel took his own life after losing a match in an unnamed game. Furthermore, some Russian news sources have stated multiple times that it could be related to the alleged quote-unquote blue whale challenge that doesn't exactly exist, but has been sensationalized in the media in multiple countries as well since the rumor began in Russia with Rina Palenkova's death. The age of the victim and method of death is incredibly disturbing, and the outlandish circumstances that are claimed around this story really makes you think. Since the story popped up again on social media, for some time it spread like wildfire as if the incident had just occurred, sparking interest in another case as well. Another horrific death over a video game. A semi-viral incident occurred in 2007. A 16-year-old teen in Santa Catarina, Brazil named Daniel Petri would walk to his friend Gabriel Kuhn's home and brutally murder him over a childish video game scam. Gabriel Kuhn and Daniel Petri first met each other in 2007, the same year that Daniel would kill Gabriel. They had met in a gaming center in Blumenau, Brazil, and clicked because of their shared interest in gaming. Many reports say that the two became close friends after getting to know each other. Other reports suggest that they were just acquaintances. I suppose this doesn't really matter. It's something which only the two of them can speak on. The two had a favorite video game they'd play, however, called Tibia, an MMORPG made by German gaming company Cipsoft. Tibia is a two-dimensional, tile-based MMORPG with text-based elements, and it's set in an open fantasy world. It has the player base active to this very day. The game went live in 1997, making it one of the earliest online games to be launched, and is actually free to play. However, you can upgrade to a premium account to progress further into the game. This is allegedly what led Gabriel to borrow 20,000 gold in game, which was worth around $1.75 US at the time. Some time passed and Gabriel did not pay up. In fact, he ended up blocking Daniel and began to avoid him every chance he got, ducking the loan. He couldn't avoid him all the time, however. Daniel harassed and bullied Gabriel about the loan every chance he got, for a period extending over an entire month. Allegedly, Daniel suffers from unspecified mental health issues. His mother did seek treatment for Daniel. It is unclear if this has included medication or not, but he only attended a few sessions of therapy and abandoned the treatment according to his mother. Daniel would begin skipping school and had difficulties with academics as well. After the incident, The media would speak of this as video game addiction, which is an absurd observation once again regarding pretty typical teenage behavior. Gabriel Kuhn's parents did not approve of their friendship. Daniel Petrie, who was an introverted and aggressive teenager, and also was older than Gabriel, made them feel uncomfortable. I've read that Daniel's psychiatric issues were purely just aggressive and violent behavior. Whether that's actually a result of a mental illness is unknown. This aggressive and violent behavior would peak on the morning of July 23, 2007, when Daniel would murder Gabriel Kuhn. Daniel called his mother to find out what time she came home from work. Then he went to Gabriel's house and said that he wanted to apologize and settle the misunderstanding that had arisen. Gabriel opened the door, and by cruel coincidence, or perhaps Daniel knew this, Gabriel was home alone. Once he was inside, he locked the door behind him and immediately began to beat Gabriel before dragging him into the bedroom and sexually assaulting him on the bed. Daniel laughed at Gabriel, who was crying and writhing in pain, bleeding on the bed. Gabriel then said he would tell his parents everything. Then Daniel took a wire from a nearby computer and began to asphyxiate Gabriel until he passed out. Daniel again raped the unconscious Gabriel, who he presumed had died. He then went to the kitchen to grab a large knife and a saw from the garage to dismember the body. When he sawed off Gabriel's left leg, Gabriel woke up as the leg disconnected from his body, screaming in agony. Daniel then began to saw off Gabriel's right leg as he writhed and screamed on the floor. Daniel decided to hide the body in the entryway hallway, dragging it into a hatch above the door. But Gabriel's body was too large and heavy to go through the hatch, so he just threw the dismembered corpse through it above the front door and out the front and went home. Soon after the incident, Gabriel's brother returned home, and his ear-piercing screams could be heard by the neighbors as it echoed out through the neighborhood. He called for his mother, seeing his brother dead by the front door, mutilated and his body crudely dropped onto his doorstep, legs severed and the computer cord still around his neck and upper chest. Inside the home was a gruesome scene. Gabriel's severed legs and a hacksaw were strewn about on the floor, which was drenched with blood pools and smears from the incident. You could see the smears where Gabriel struggled and writhed on the floor as well. The bed in Gabriel's room was also covered in blood. After a short investigation, Daniel and Gabriel's chat history on Tibia was seen by investigators, and he was quickly arrested for the murder of Gabriel Kuhn. Daniel immediately confessed to the crime and showed absolutely no remorse, easily and calmly speaking of the murder and sexual assault. He adamantly denied accusations of homosexuality. Daniel Petrie was sentenced just to 3 years in a juvenile correctional center for his gruesome crime. And at the trial he said, "Gabriel was a coward and a thief. He is now burning in hell where I sent him, and when I die I will find him in hell and end my revenge." Petrie was released in 2010 after serving his sentence in full, and it is unclear if he has changed his name, has social media, or even if he is still in Brazil at all. Many rumors have circulated about this case and Petrie's release. Some suggest Daniel might have been sexually abusing Gabriel long before the murder took place, therefore, he might have killed the boy to silence him. Another theory suggests that Daniel took his own life after being released, guilty from the gruesome crime that he had committed. And another version claims that Daniel Petrie had left Brazil, became a lawyer, is in another country, perhaps the United States. Tibia developers paid tribute to Gabriel Kuhn by incorporating his image in the game. Gabriel Kuhn was also featured in Raiden's Storm as a minor character. This murder was one of the most gruesome cases I've ever covered, and I briefly touched upon it in the early era of my channel. With more details into the background of the case, its relevancy to video games, because of the Pavel Mativ incident going semi-viral recently, with many content creators and people on Twitter and otherwise talking about the crazy case. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. I love you all dearly. And remember, if it bleeds, it leads.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the state police have received reports of abducted children within their homes. At approximately 11:55 p.m. Eastern Time, it is confirmed that the suspects who are causing great terrorism and shock to kill any people who abducted almost have children with it. As a precaution, keep any child 12 or below on your sites and must be monitored them for all costs. Do not attempt to approach the suspects as they are considered extremely armed and dangerous. Stay tuned to the station or local media outlets for further updates on this dangerous situation.